Okay, let's talk about artificial intelligence. It's absolutely everywhere. Billions of dollars are being poured into it, the headlines are constant. But what can it actually do? In this explainer, we're going to try to cut through all that noise, all the hype, and get to the real story of what AI is, and maybe more importantly, what it isn't, yet. So let's just dive right in.
The hype has gotten so intense that AI pioneer Rodney Brooks calls it a maelstrom. I love that word. It's this chaotic, swirling storm of expectations, almost like a religion for some. And it makes it really tough to ask the hard, critical questions. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today.
So, this brings us to the big question, right? When you see an AI write a poem that's genuinely moving, or a robot that can fold a towel, are we looking at real, genuine understanding? Or is it just a really, really magnificent illusion? That's the puzzle we're going to try and piece together. Now, to think clearly about a topic this big, we need a mental model, a framework. And honestly, one of the best out there comes from the AI theorist Judea Pearl. He calls it the ladder of causation. It's such a simple but powerful way to think about what intelligence really is. Let's break it down. So imagine a ladder with 3 rungs. The very bottom rung is seeing. This is all about finding patterns, seeing associations in data. The next step up is doing. This is about intervention, predicting what will happen if you actually do something. And then at the very top you have imagining. This is understanding why things happen. Thinking in counterfactuals, asking, what if? Each step up that ladder is a massive leap in true intelligence.
So, where does today's AI fit on this ladder? Well, it's pretty much camped out on that very first rung. Large language models, they are absolute masters of association. They're just predicting the next most probable word based on patterns they've seen in trillions of words of text. It's an incredible feat of pattern matching, but it's still just passive observation. It's not the same as actually understanding the world.
This classic example from Judea Pearl just illustrates the difference perfectly. So if you see a barometer's needle fall, the chance of a storm goes way up, right? That's rung 1. That's correlation. But what if you intervene? What if you walk over and physically force the needle down? Does that cause a storm? Of course not. An AI stuck on rung 1 might get confused by that, but for us, our understanding of cause and effect makes the difference totally obvious.
So making that jump from just seeing patterns to understanding cause and effect, well, that's the great wall for today's AI. But why? Why is climbing this ladder so incredibly hard? Turns out a lot of it comes down to the limits of just seeing.
And one of the biggest reasons is a concept called embodiment. See, a lot of our human intelligence isn't just floating in our brains. It's forged by actually interacting with the physical world. It's the constant feedback we get from touch, from force, from texture, all things that a disembodied AI, trained on nothing but text and pixels, is completely missing out on.
This experiment from researcher Roland Johansson is just, wow, it's such a powerful example. Okay, think about this. A person can light a match in just a couple of seconds, no problem. But when you anesthetize their fingertips so they can't feel anything, but they can still see perfectly, the task becomes almost impossible. They fumble, they struggle, they just can't do it. It's this incredible reminder of how critical physical feedback is, even for something that seems so simple.
And the biological hardware behind this is just staggering. Get this. The skin on your hand has around 17,000 mechanoreceptors. These are constantly sending this incredibly rich stream of data about pressure, texture, and force to your brain. Today's robotics, they're not even in the same ballpark. It's a completely different universe of sensory input.
And that brings us to the humanoid robots we see in all those viral videos. They're missing all these crucial inputs. They've got no force feedback, really limited finger control, and pretty much zero rich sense of touch. So when you see a robot folding laundry, you have to realize that task is a bit deceptive. It just relies on these simple pinch grasps. It's cleverly avoiding the need for any real fine-tuned dexterity.
All of this leads us to that final top rung of the ladder, and what might be the ultimate gap for AI today. The huge, profound difference between just knowing a fact and truly, deeply understanding it.
The great physicist Richard Feynman put this just perfectly. He said, you can learn the name of a bird in every single language on Earth. But when you're all done, you know absolutely nothing about the bird itself. You only know something about people and the words they use. Isn't that the perfect analogy for large language models? They know the name of everything, but they understand the bird of nothing.
So what do we do with all this? How can we use these ideas to think a little bit smarter about AI and where it's all going? Let's try to build a practical toolkit for ourselves. I think 3 principles from 3 really great thinkers can help guide us. First, from Feynman, is the principle of not fooling ourselves. We have to be brutally honest about what AI can and cannot do. Second, from Musk, this idea of questioning the requirements. Are we building robots to fold laundry because it's a genuinely useful problem to solve, or just because we think we can? And third, from Pearl, his whole emphasis on causal modeling. We have to push beyond just finding correlations and build systems that can actually understand why.
And this all leaves us with one last really crucial question to think about. If true, real intelligence is all about causality, about understanding why, are we actually building the right tools? Are we investing in the right future for AI? Or are we still just completely mesmerized by that magnificent illusion on the first rung of the ladder? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this one.